Someone named P Fusion commented, most Muslims I talk to in the States want brand new homes, cars, and they don't care about being deep in riba. It's just astonishing to hear that there are Muslims who care this much about the dunya. Everybody wants to have something brand new and huge and luxurious at the temporary world. This is not the final destination. You are a traveler in the dunya. Assalamu alaikum guys, welcome back to Muslimah Hustle Diaries. I have a few comments from my last video where I was talking about riba and basically like the dangers of being in riba, how it's haram and how it's so normalized these days. It's like people are into riba with their cars, with their houses, with almost anything that they can be into riba with. Even if it's just going to the grocery store and buying groceries, people use their credit cards and may not have it on their debit card, and maybe they can't help it. Maybe that's literally the only way that they would have been able to put food on the table for their baby. So there are like things, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he understands, like if you're in a situation like that, you have a credit card, you literally just lost your job. There's no money you have in savings. However, you have a 1-year-old that you have to feed, for example, and you use your credit card to get food. Like, you are not the person that Allah is waging war with because you genuinely have no other means of feeding your child. Now, it's way different when someone has the option to buy a $5,000 cash car. However, they chose to go for the $40,000 financed car and put like maybe $1,000 down. So they keep $4,000 and they're like, they have a way better car. To a lot of people, this seems like a way better deal, but as a Muslim, we already know what that means. So these comments are not in order. They're just like random comments that I picked from there. So this sister Fatima, she said, thanks for this. I felt like an outsider, even with Muslims, for trying my hardest to avoid, including not buying a house, investing in my employer's 401, Roth IRA. I would love a house of my own, honestly, but unless I have the cash up front, I'll continue to be content with what Allah has given me. And her comment is just a reflection of exactly what it means to be Muslim. This is exactly what it means to be someone who holds on to their beliefs and you don't change yourself for society. And same, I would love to buy a house. I would love to have my own house. Like, who wouldn't want to own a house? You can literally customize it how you want. You don't have to worry about the rent rising on it. It's a lot of things like when you own a home. But the problem for me is accepting to be in $400,000 debt. And along with that debt is a lot of riba, a lot of riba. Someone named Mia said, my husband and I feel the same way. People have been saying for years, why do we continue to rent? And we always try to explain to them, but some people are just willfully ignorant. May Allah protect us. That's literally like me and my husband, we talk about it as well, like all the time. Like when it comes to the fact that we will never buy a house unless we're able to buy it cash. That's just a staple in the household. Try our best to, it's amazing to try your best to avoid any kind of riba, like any sort of riba. Like, there are other options out there. There's always another way. And that brings me to this comment that was made by Hijabi Beautiful. She said, Wallahi, my husband and I had this conversation the other night. Allah always makes a way and his way is the best. You don't need to finance anything. There are ways around it and other less appealing options, but the options are there. Heavy on the there are less appealing options, but the options are there. That's where you have to let Islam win. That's the situation where you have to accept and be grateful for whatever you can afford, whatever Allah has given you. If all you can afford is to rent for the rest of your life, then that's all you can afford, and just be content with that. Be happy that you have somewhere to live. And I'm so glad that there's so many Muslims who actually agree with this point of view, which is the correct point of view, that like there is no necessity to buy a home. There is no necessity to finance a car. There is no necessity. And that brings me to this comment. The comment says, I was just talking about this the other day. I posted on Facebook and people were arguing with me, saying how having a house is necessary and the deen allows for you to have necessary things. Also, they said, how can I get higher education without a student loan? I was shocked. Like, it's crazy because there are Muslims out there trying to guide other Muslims and just genuinely trying to give their best advice. Nothing they're saying is incorrect. They are literally just like ripping the band-aid off. They're just saying it straight up. There's a lot of people that will try to cover it for you and not say it like it is, but this is what it is. But trying to use Islam and saying that Islam says that you can have things that are necessary, you're basically saying it's necessary to buy a home. Again, it's not necessary to buy a home. There's many other options. It's not the most appealing option, And then the education, like, this is not a necessity either. You can be very well educated without having to pay for school. Like, really, truly, high school is enough. There is no necessity to go to college. There's many other routes in life these days. As a Muslim, as a human being, there's just so many other options that you can go where you don't need college. College is only necessary for certain jobs. So saying that you're allowed to engage in riba to have education, that's not an excuse. Like, on the day of judgment, what are you going to say to Allah? And I saw a comment under a different video where they were basically like, you just have to be prepared on the day of judgment to stand before Allah and justify those reasons and tell him, just make sure that you're comfortable with, on the day of judgment, you saying all the reasons that you're telling other people, arguing with them about how buying a house is a necessity, it's okay to finance a car if it's a necessity, like all these excuses. Just be prepared on the day of judgment to stand before Allah and tell him the same excuses. If you feel like genuinely you are comfortable with doing that, then do as you please. You know the hadith that's like, if you feel no shame, then do as you please. Literally, if you feel no shame in what you're doing and you can help it, there's ways around it, do as you please. People like myself, other Muslim influencers who are trying to, like, you know, give a good message, we're only here to advise. Now, once you hear the advice, it's either up to you to take it or to not take it. And if you are in riba, it's up to you to stop it or to not stop it somehow. And I know it's a huge decision. Like, if you're already in financing a home and it's a riba based home, I know that's not an easy decision to just be like, let me just stop the contract. Let me just stop it right now. Let me go back to renting. Yeah, I know that's extremely difficult, but it can be done. It's a hard choice. But when you leave something for the sake of Allah, He will only replace it with something 10 times better. So much better. Someone named P Fusion commented, well said, sis. I have a business where I buy and rehab homes and cars in cash and resell them for a profit. LA Riba. Most Muslims I talk to in the States want brand new homes, cars, and they don't care about being deep in riba. May Allah Ta'ala Azawajal give you and your family an increase in barakah. Thank you so much. Ameen. Now, you heard that though. Most Muslims I talk to in the States want brand new homes, cars, and they don't care about being deep in riba. It's just astonishing. It's really, like, it's absurd to hear that there are Muslims who care this much about the dunya. That, like, everybody wants to have something brand new and huge and luxurious, but this is the temporary world. This is not the final destination. You are a traveler in the dunya. So be in this world as a traveler. This is not your final destination. Everybody dies. That's no secret. You know that. But it's really important to have discussions like this, just to, once again, just continue to bring awareness to normalized situations in Islam and how they shouldn't be normalized and how we need to stop and how unimportant those things actually are. Who the heck cares at the end of the day about having everything brand new? I had someone named Somali Legend say, Assalamu alaikum sister, hope you are well. Just came across your video as I was trying to figure out how to pay my uni tuition fees without taking student loans, as it contains riba. And subhanallah, I feel like your video was a sign from Allah, so thank you. I think that is beautiful, and I'm like, it makes me feel amazing just to know, alhamdulillah, as long as the video can impact one person, help one person, or just bring realization to one person, that's enough for me. That's literally plenty. Like this sister, imagine she's debating like if she should continue. She doesn't have the cash to pay for the tuition for university, and I know university is expensive, but like I said again, education is not a necessity. It's not an absolute must. There's plenty of other ways to make money these days. You're not going to be the highest earner out there, but there are other ways, and that's why that one sister said there's other options. It's just not the best option or something that people don't want. Like, you don't want the lower option, of course, but if it means holding on to Islam and keeping your Islam intact, then that's amazing. But think about it. If this sister right there that commented that about university, if she will not go to university at the cost of riba and her Islam, then why would someone else think that they can just go ahead and engage in the student loans that have plenty of interest and riba so they can get their higher education? On the day of judgment, what do you think that person is going to be able to say to Allah? It's so important to think like this And some people will consider this point of view as a strict point of view. Oh, Islam doesn't make things difficult. Don't make things so difficult. Guys, like, these are excuses that you're telling yourselves. Just make sure you feel comfortable enough standing in front of Allah on the Day of Judgment. And as I say in every video, I am not perfect. I have my flaws. I have things I need to work on. You have things you need to work on. We all have things we need to work on. We are all human. We all sin. We were created to sin. If we were not sinners, Allah would have created a new creation. Like, that's the whole point. This is a test life. You are traveling in this dunya to get to the other side. And this sister, Emtinan, she said, as a ummah, we need to have more conversations like this. Thank you for bringing up this topic. Riba, if you don't know, causes economic collapses and was the cause of the Great Depression, which people think was only the collapse of the banking system in America. In fact, the entire economic system in the world crashed. Riba is doomed to crash. Look, you want to participate in this evil? Go ahead. But Allah is your witness, and He is over all things competent and encompasses all things. Is there more that needs to be said? It is detrimental. Riba is detrimental to the Islamic community. Riba is detrimental to society. There is a reason Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has warned us against riba. There's a reason why you're waging war with Allah. It's to help yourself. It is to help yourself. It causes damage to oneself. There's so many people stuck in debt and they just continue the cycle. They can never get out. I want to thank you guys for watching the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Salam.